6 o'clock. We're going to call the meeting to order. Can I get verification of posting?
August 5th, 2026, by 5 p.m.
All right, thank you. Can we have our invocation, please? Everybody.
Everybody bow, please. Dear Lord, thank you for this day and for all you've given us. Thank you for giving us a beautiful hot day today. And we pray for rain when you feel we need it. Pray that you'd be with everybody here tonight. Give them a safe trip home. Pray that you'd be with council as they make a decision for the city and the citizens. And guide them and guide their hands and their votes tonight. And I pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
All right, let's all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. All right, number 5 on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from our budget workshop on July 28th.
I move we approve the minutes from the July 8th meeting.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next is the consent agenda. Is there anything in the,
Public comment?
oh, do we have anybody signed up for public comment? Okay, thank you. Next is the consent agenda. Is there any reports that anybody'd like to see pulled and talked to? Anybody? All right, our financial report, we'll discuss that when we get to the end of the agenda. Next, we have a presentation of officer recognition awards. Chief?
You didn't know you were losing a couple, did you?
Sorry about that.
You're all right, Yep, try to keep this short. So a couple of months back, we had a little situation down at the American Legion where we had someone who's pretty beloved in our community. I won't mention their name because I didn't get their permission to talk about them, but they had a little bit of a medical episode, and our ambulances were all out of the county. We didn't have any available, so we had a citizen, Timmy Kleine, who just happened to be down there, who started CPR immediately on this subject until Officer Wujiju, as they call him on Facebook, Officer Schwinn, showed up and had our medical bag, which had an AED in it. They used the AED and subsequently saved that gentleman's life. He's still with us today. So I would like to present first to Timmy Kleine, the Chief Citizens Life Saving Award for his duties down there that day. And then Officer Shagwidden, the Peace Officers Life Saving Award. Thank y'all.
Great, thank you, Chief.
Awesome.
And thank y'all very much. We appreciate it. Next is it's presentation and discussion by Mike Roundtree in regards to our elevated water tower, antenna maintenance, and the future of the city's communication ability.
Council, I've asked Mike to come in today, and he's gracious enough to present to y'all. We've been talking back and forth about maintenance on our tower. We are out of compliance on that. He's going to show you some pictures. You go, wow, this stuff's been up there 15, possibly 20 years. So he's been up there, not been up there personally, but with his drone. And I'm going to let Mike present to y'all on different ways of communication and all that with the city. So,
all right, thank you very much. Well, it actually didn't start with, let's go look at the water tower. It started with connectivity, right? The whole idea is how can the city save money, become future-proof, do things that other cities are doing to make smart moves moving in the future. And part of that is some site surveys. So what our group did was just that, site surveys. So what I'm gonna do is kind of tell you a little bit about us briefly for people who don't know, and then let you understand what our capabilities are as a team and why we understand water towers so well. So one of our big things is we bring internet to rural America. We've been everywhere from here all the way up to Wisconsin, working on federal programs, working with cities, working with counties. This is actually a real photograph of our guys in Milladore, Wisconsin, loading a water tower with modern magnet mounts. It's really become the industry standard. And just going through, this is kind of a presentation slide that we give to clients, so I'll run through it, just let you know who we are and what we do. I do like to point out that our crews have built over 2,000 towers to date. Of the equipment and things that we're going to be talking to you guys about that you're potentially going to need. We've done over 100 sites of those. And that Google equipment to the right, my team was actually the first in the United States to be authorized to do that. I'm going to skip through that because we don't need a big presentation, and I know our time is limited. So one thing that's super important in a tower is, I'm going to get to this right here. The highest point in a town is almost always a water tower, right? It's for a reason. It is a network asset. That network asset is actually supposed to generate you revenue. And we're going to show you at some point how we can increase your revenue dramatically in short term for that water tower. However, to be able to do that, your water tower has to be in compliance in some reasonable shape. And I'll tell you, this isn't going to be a let's hate on Clifton Water Tower because I love this place and I live here. I've seen much worse, I assure you, but we do need some work. So right here we actually have real photographs. That's one of our climbers, Pasha, who went to the site. He used a drone and climbed the tower. One of the major things you can look at to a water tower that is a big no-no, especially from OSHA standpoint, is going to be cabling along the ladderway. It should not be attached, touching it at all. Right here, it doesn't look horrible. If you're the guy climbing that tower, it's a little bit of a different story, but you'll see some other pictures to tell you other things. So here we have the top of the tower, not much equipment on there. This is actually a great lease space, a great spot for the city to get more revenue. And right here you have some radios that are so old that I don't know what they are, and I've been doing this a long time. And you also have county equipment up here. If you do notice the raceway, coming up the ladder, you have cables going everywhere, cables against the ladder. So a bunch of big no-nos, but that up top is actually relatively easy fix. Here's the big guy right here. If you look, you're climbing to the top of the ladder and you've got to climb through these cables just to get up there. And if you've never climbed a water tower, you're actually over vertical at this point. You are leaning back while you're climbing. And so when you get up there and you see these cables that you have to navigate through, and you don't want to get in trouble because you tripped over a cable and took somebody offline or messed up emergency services. You can also notice there's a lot of old dishes. I can clearly tell you that's a backhaul radio you're looking at with the face guard missing off of it, and it's no longer in service, as is most of the things up here. That's our suspicion. You continue on, look at the rat's nest in the middle. Basically, you have a lot of old radios that other ISPs for probably over a decade now, maybe longer, whenever they decide they're not going to use that radio anymore, they don't spend the money or call you and tell you, hey, we're not using it. They just leave it, and it's kind of become a mess. Looking into here, we just have more cable pictures. I don't want to go into depth of that because we have a lot to cover. I think the moral of the story is we all see that it needs a little TLC. Right here, we're down bottom, and down bottom you have just cables strung through the air, spliced in the air. Don't want to go into too heavy a detail of why this is wrong. I think most people understand it. We have very methodized standards of how we're supposed to do this and how it's supposed to be done. And down bottom you also have random shelters. Those are small telecom cabinets, probably from older ISPs. I think one's a current ISP that you guys are receiving some lease from. Others are some I think you are giving away for free right now. But that being said, the standards are really not met right here as well. And I'd like to really pay close attention to the bottom right photo. Do y'all see that little shed, that little wood shack I called it? That is your emergency management facility, if you will. And if you've gone to the one over in Bosque County, you'll notice they're a lot different. We're used to using telecom shelters, air conditioned. If it's for emergency management, I'd like to think that we're gonna treat that a little better. When we were there, the first time it was overgrown, someone did trim it back some, but you've got some issues here that need to be addressed and some opportunities, to be honest with you, more than anything. Once you realize the revenue that can be generated from this site, that will help ease you into knowing how we should repair this. And I do want to go ahead and point out that at no point, our company, Roundtree Towers, this is our bread and butter, this is what we do. We will not be bidding on this job. This is where we live. We'd like to see you guys bring in outside services. I'm happy to help in any way that I can. All of the presentation, everything we've done internally has been pro bono for the city just because, we live here. So what should Clifton charge? I want to start thinking about, okay, what is our lease space worth up on this water tower? In the past, what happens is ISPs know you don't know. Past people's, and they'll take advantage of it. And so the idea is you should really have your contract that they adhere to, not the other way around. And we've done this long enough to know that we know the pricing, we understand the different markets, we know what you can charge and what your minimum you should charge, right? Here are some examples of some other water tower municipal sites. Some of them are larger, some of them getting from AT&T, upwards of $3,600, $4,000 a year. The minimum for what we guys are looking at up there is $1,500 per year per client. There are exceptions to that. If someone said, I need to put one radio up there, you may say, oh great, $750 a month. But when you do the math on that and you say, hey, I've got 3 leasees up there at $3,000 a month, hopefully, now you're looking at $9,000 a month, which generates a decent amount of revenue for the city. Right? This is just stating the same thing. Basically, this is a tier 2. You can get $1,500 to $3,000 per month per carrier, and that's based off of fixed wireless. Companies like Nextlink, Waco Wi-Fi, people of that nature, and both of those are already up there, by the way. So what we can do is help show you what you should be charging, and also what your yearly increase should be. 3 to 5% is the norm. Most people settle at 3%. It's already built into the calculation of the contract, so you don't have to renegotiate. Typically a 5-year contract, renegotiated at that time. So what you do, basically I think it's pretty obvious. We need to get the water tower up to shape to where it should be because it's not really a leasable space right now and it's a safety hazard. So I think the main focus should be that. And one of the biggest things I recommend is putting a real shelter up there. This is one I found, actually one of my teammates found, that is a used shelter. It looks brand new. When you go to Bosque County to their tower site, this is the same equipment we're used to working in. It's got air conditioning, plenty of room. One of the key factors here is that you have space for both the city's equipment, you have it for the county's equipment, you segregate that off. The rest of the space on the inside, you lease that as well. So the $3,000 up top, that's where we hit them with, hey, we're going to charge you an extra $750 a month for our lease space. We want you there because we've had some bad issues in the past. Then you can keep it clean and monitored, put a camera in there, you know everything's going on. Really simple. This particular unit is dirt cheap at $50,000. They're typically going to run about $150,000, and that does not include installation. One thing that I want to drive home is that Clifton's water tower is for water, right? That's what it's here for. It's for water. It's for our citizens. And anything you do above and beyond that out there should be generating revenue. Now, you guys, we have a great relationship with the county. I know that we have some agreements. Most of what I see up there would be county related. So if I say, hey, we've got to get the cables off the ladder, that's the county's cables going up there mainly. Other people followed suit. If you said we need to add mag mounts, we need to clean up other things up there, a lot of that's going to be the county, some the city. In this case, I would, if I had to make a recommendation, and I've got that in a letter here, I would recommend that the city look at potentially splitting the cost of a shelter. Hopefully you can still get one that's used. These are very hard to find right now. If you don't know, we're in the middle of a boom in our industry with what's called BEAD. It's a program where we're getting internet out to people who don't have it in the middle of nowhere. So something you should definitely look into. And here is an estimated cost. And guys, this is just from experience. I didn't call around. I didn't do a lot of heavy stuff. Basically, what you're looking at to get the tower with the shelter that's used in working order is about 115,000. If you go wait and get a used shelter, you can go ahead and add 100,000 to that. So ultimately, even if you take out the shelter, which you pretty much have to have, you're looking at, ballpark 65,000 to get that thing up to where it should be. One of the big things you're going to do is clean it up and then get the mounts up. And the hardest thing to do there is put in what's called a raceway. A raceway is simply, it looks like another ladder, but it's a little bit further spaced apart, and that's a cable raceway. And when people lease space, you tell them where they have rights in that raceway. Hey, you're in slot A, B, C, D. So that way, it's uniform, it's documented. You always demand closeout packages. And that's kind of where we can step in and help. These are very management intensive, and you've kind of got to know your stuff to do these things. So we'll help any way we can. That's all I got for the water tower. So the whole idea behind this was, I was excited when the city manager came to me and said, hey, Mike, we've got the SCADA project coming up, and we'd like to know what's the smart move. Well, with our experience doing this so much, we understand that when you put in for SCADA, and I've got handouts for you guys, we put in SCADA products, they're just connected to the internet. Modern SCADA, for some of the nerds out there, I'm going to keep one just in case to follow along. And I'm trying to go fast because this could take an hour if I let it. So modern SCADA is basically, I have the definition here, but in layman's terms, it helps your city employees do their job efficient. It's a safety factor. All it does is connect all of the devices at all of your city, all the portions across the city, and it lets you monitor them remotely. Hey, what's our water level at? What's our chlorine level at? We have an allergy over here. We just noticed that you get an alert at home. Modern SCADA is all IP based, which is just internet stuff. It used to be Modbus for you older guys. So in doing that, when you think about I need to put in a SCADA system, which means I have to connect all of these dots. While you're connecting those dots, you have two choices. You can put in an old system, it's going to be cheaper, and it's already outdated. If it's not outdated, it will be tomorrow. Or you go ahead and put in a modern system that lets you connect all your SCADA and you get all the benefits. What are the benefits? So if we do this correctly, you're going to be able to connect all 10 sites that we've looked at. They'll all have internet. They'll all have the ability to add cameras if you ever want. They'll have the ability, you'll have Wi-Fi indoor, outdoor, just wherever you want, right? And the key there is you don't have to pay an additional dime once you put those in. When a city or any entity owns its own private network, what you do is you'll have one internet bill. Comes right here, internet comes in this building. We then distribute that to all the other sites, and every time you add a new site, your bill doesn't go up. You get what's called DIA internet. It's direct internet access. It's basically just fiber. You can get it from Pathway. It's a specific type that's important. What that is, it's a fiber that goes straight to the data center without popping through a bunch of neighborhoods and whatnot. And when you do that and you realize we can put all of our stuff on the same network, we can save money in the long run, and we are going to increase the productivity and honestly the well-being of everybody who works at these facilities. One thing I was going to brag on was I get to go see a lot of places that are not very well kept, and everywhere I went other than the water tower was spot on. Your guys are doing a good job, so I really appreciate it. It made it nice and easy to go through and check things out. But to jump into Clifton Connected, and I want to make sure you guys know you can grill me and ask me any question you want. The opportunity here is build a private network. City owns. You're not answering to anyone else. You can manage it. We can manage it. We can find a company for you to manage it. I think you already have one. But the opportunity here is not just that. Now we're talking about revenue. Once you have your own private network, man, we had one of the best fireworks shows ever this year. Everybody agree? Yeah. Well, with this network, it's robust enough. If you wanted to sell Wi-Fi, if you want to do it at Fall Fest, we put QR codes up. Now you got 1,000 people paying $5. It's not a lot, but it adds up. So you get a very nice ROI on these products. And by doing that, you can find that you're opening ideas to new things going, oh, wait, we just made $2,800 on the fireworks show just on Wi-Fi. What else can we do? it just opens up, it's called IoT, Internet of Things. Once you have your own network, you literally can put in whatever you want. You own it, your monthly bill doesn't go up. Makes life simple. I do want to kind of show you page, if everyone has this sheet, this is kind of what I do for a living. It's going to look weird. It is on the, not the executive summary page, but the Clifton Connected. All right, y'all got that? No, let me hand those out then. Here we go. This is, that executive summary is just a position paper on working with the county. So what's really cool about this Clifton Connected package, once y'all get it, is it talks about the opportunity. It talks about how important SCADA is, and I think y'all have already earmarked to do that program. I want to kind of tell you what it takes to know how to connect all the dots. It's not just, hey, we just want to shoot here, shoot here, shoot here. We use software called propagation software, specifically for a brand called Tirana. Several of you have it on your house, you may not even know it. And what we did, if you look at the circle right in the middle of the page, kind of looks like a hurricane, that's our water tower. And if you look at all the color codes, basically what you're seeing is signal strengths to any given location. So as you guys review this packet and you have questions, you're going to notice that there were 3 tower sites that needed to be added. They're small. Those are for line of sight. That is the one thing you have to have is line of sight to be able to have the most robust internet. If we get down to it and we need to use a different frequency, we can do so. Don't want to nerd out too much, but we work for everywhere from 600 megahertz all the way up to 80 gigahertz, and how we treat each one's very different. All right, so the next page is SCADA. I think we've already covered that. Basically, you know what, I should probably read it for anyone that doesn't know. SCADA is supervisory control and data acquisition. What does that mean? David, you got a chlorinator down there that's pumping out way too much chlorine. You want to know about it before the guy checks it tomorrow or the next week, right? You get that alert immediately. You know before anyone else knows. You can dispatch people immediately. And in fact, in many systems, you'll have auto corrections that automatically take care of it for you. But you can't do that unless everything's connected. All right, let's see. I've gone through and put in a lot of suggested products and suggested, it's really mainly products, what you should be utilizing. Just think, we need radios, you guys need network equipment like you have here. You're gonna need power. Don't overthink it. So the high level concept is basically what I've already stated. It is, we should connect all the sites. We should have a core internet either here or another location that y'all choose. And as a city, we should connect all the dots so that we're working as a cohesive unit. Finally, I want to come up with our role, because I thought about this a lot. I was thinking, man, this is kind of fun. Something's happening in my hometown that's exactly what I've been doing for the last X amount of years. I can't tell you. To the part of it, 15 years, but really hardcore the last 5. But I also knew that if I live here and I care about this community, I don't want to bid on this. I want to be here to help manage it, because even in whatever aspect y'all want or not at all, because doing and deploying a project of this stature with your SCADA, it's a lot more difficult than people realize. You're talking about probably 100 to 500 plus man hours of people who know what they're doing to manage it, right? This packet alone, just a little bit of what we've done, is probably 40 to 60 man hours at our company in order just to be able to gather this information. Then you still got to negotiate with the ISPs, you've got to negotiate with the contractors, you've got to write the RFP, which I'm very happy to help with. The moral of the story is we're here to serve. This is our community. We've been here 18 years, 19 years, have a senior. So any way we can help, that's what we're here for. That's all I have. I just, open up to any questions you got. I went fast for sake of time, but anybody have any questions?
I'm not smart enough to ask.
It's okay. It's not a fun read. If you do what I do, you nerd out. You're going, this is awesome. Let me read this. Let me read this. It's just like any other industry. you've got specialists, and then we kind of live and breathe it. But read that, digest it. Anybody has a question, please reach out.
Definitely need to.
Moral of the story is you need to get your water tower.
I did not want to explain this to y'all.
That would have been fun.
Do y'all have some
No, it
questions, or?
No.
All right.
So is your company, are you like an ISP provider that this network goes through?
So what we do is two-part. So when an internet company wants to put equipment on a tower, they call us. And we help them anywhere from the design, definitely the deployment, and then we also have a second nature. We have another company called IoTech Solutions. But what we mainly do, other than installs for internet companies, we're doing that in Oklahoma right now, is we build private networks. We've done networks we did Bosque County, right? And I think Bosque County is one of the best examples. Someone came to me and told me how much money they were spending. We were able to, for about $100,000, put in a private network for 6 of the buildings, and we saved them $114,000 a year. It had a 1-year ROI. We build them for private networks, for counties, we do it for cities. A lot of very high wealth individuals do it. We're doing it for a very large construction site in Hubbard, Texas, for a data center project. So we're providing internet for about 3,000 workers in the middle of nowhere where you say you can't get internet. So if anyone ever tells y'all you can't get internet there, you send them my way. That's our job, is to get robust, high-speed internet anywhere you want. One of our links, we could shoot one laser link or radio link, and if, let's say you wanted to hit it between here and Valley Mills, I could use one radio, shoot there, and support a town of 10,000. It's pretty wild.
You're using laser radio?
That's a laser.
versus
That's
like a microwave?
so we were the first. There's a company called Tara that was founded from Google. Our guys went out to training in California last year. We're the first company to get trained on what's called free space optics. They're using a laser at 1352 nanometers size, very small. It's the same thing as fiber optics without the glass. So we'll shoot that miles, and then we also put a radio behind it, and we're able to do a 20 gigabit connection. And it's not 20 gig like you think in your house. That 20 gigs will handle 10,000 people.
How stable is it?
Okay, so the Tara is not the most stable. We have other radios that are more. That doesn't like heavy ice and really heavy rain, and that's why we use a backup radio that's going to give you gigabit, 2 gigabit speeds.
Okay.
So in the rare times you have really bad weather, you fall back to a radio at 11 gigahertz.
It's an instant failover.
That's the failover. Most of our high bandwidth radios, 80 gigahertz, fail over to another radio that shoots through everything. Tara, the one we're using, is being used by the Navy. A lot of governments, they actually just had it communicate with a F-6, I can't remember what airplane it was. Basically a jet where they're going across, and they were able to communicate at high speed just by tracking it. And the Navy loves it because it's great over water. Most of what we do, if you're over water, I got to do a whole bunch of extra calculations, and I help with that.
So we'll have our own private network, and so even if we lose internet, the local network will stay, each facility will stay.
Yeah, so you have 2 parts. You have your wide area network, which is your fiber coming in, then you have your local network. Everything that we quoted it doesn't fail in rain, weather, anything. What we used was, in here, was to show bleeding edge technology called Tarana. It's called Next Generation Fixed Wireless. It uses machine learning and some AI, mainly machine learning. And those radios are so good. There's a great story that goes around. They had a tower, a 150-foot tower with the radios up top that shoot to the houses. It fell over. This stuff's so good, like 20 of the 40 houses were still connected, and it's on the ground. So what we're proposing is really, it's good for minimum 10 year. Everywhere we're looking at, you got 1.6 gigabit connectivity to every spot. Future-proof and very hardened. ISPs buy that because we go to shows and we go learn the latest stuff, but they buy that because they don't like service calls. They don't want to work on it, and neither do I. So when you use the right equipment the first time, no service calls. And if you ever did, that's what we do for a living. It's a good question, though.
smart.
Anybody else want some nerd stuff? All right, well, thank you guys very much, reach out.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you and
Thanks, Mike.
Roundtree putting it all together for
Yeah, no
us, recommendations. So now y'all have some reading, and we'll be revisiting that. We just wanted y'all to sort of see, and the water tower is, it needs some work.
Needs some more.
So, all right, next on the agenda is Haley, and we're gonna do discussion and possible action in regards to approving the Clifton Main Street program to host the first annual turkey trot.
Good evening, council. So, anytime that Main Street decides to host a new event, we always come to council just to discuss and have initial questions be asked, and to tell you kind of what the mission of the event is and why it was brought to the program's attention to be hosted. And so in this case, there, believe it or not, are quite a few runners here in town that go off and run 1Ks, 5Ks, lots of increased outdoor activity here in Clifton, which I love to see. And so one of our board members, Caitlin Robinson, she came to me with a couple of friends wanting to do some type of turkey trot. She, in the past 2 years, has done one that's been very informal, just a text message out and said, like, meet me downtown if you want to run on Thanksgiving morning. And turns out it was quite a success. I don't know, Kat, did you go?
No.
No? Okay. I wasn't for sure. You're one of the more active people, so I was just
We have our own family turkey trot,
I love it.
Yeah.
true story.
So that being said, over the past couple of years, she has informally grown this and now wants to make it an official event. That being said, she has formed a committee. She is a board member of the Main Street, Clifton Main Street, and she has formed a committee, which I have listed everyone there. Jenny and I are Main Street representatives, and so I just wanted to share the mission with you guys. This is a preliminary logo. It's not completely finished out, but something that she sent me, and we just wanted to get kind of a discussion going if y'all had any questions about the event, and then we'll come back with specifics on the street closures and what the route will be, but really just wanted to get that initial okay from council to host this event under the Main Street program, as the sponsorships will be coming in through Main Street, and we will be paying out any expenses for this event.
I like the logo.
Isn't it fun?
We are all getting a little giggle
What
up
is,
here.
what's OOFDA?
Oofda, it's the same, well, it means something I don't really know. I should know. I hear
We're not gonna say what it
controversial
means.
things. That's why I'm not gonna say it. There are multiple things. But
But it's
all
all the
in
trolls
all-
and the turkey.
all in all, it's a fun little Oofda nod to our Norwegian heritage, and that's kind of something that we've been working on, is how to integrate more of that Norwegian into not just our Christmas, the Chamber's Norwegian country Christmas, to kind of bring that into other things. Back rally, yes, back rally, and then turkey trot, Norwegian country Christmas, and some other fun things up our sleeves, not just yet to be announced.
Keep us anticipating.
Yes. If y'all have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them.
I think it's a
Great idea.
It's
Yeah.
good.
Sounds fun.
I can't
I've
blame
traveled a lot through different races, and they always have some unique kind of thing to get you in there, and the trolls with the turkey is, I think, a great idea.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
All right,
Love it.
since this is new,
Thank you.
I would just entertain a motion to approve a new event.
Make a motion to approve the Clifton Main Street program to host the first annual turkey trot.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. F on the agenda is discussion and possible action in regards to going into stage 2 water restrictions.
On On a not so much fun topic, I'm gonna let Craig take over for about the next 2 or 3 items, and him and Josh. can
You're gonna say
explain.
hours.
No, not hours, I hope.
First issue was we're looking for is to move forward with drought restrictions, water restrictions. A little bit of background on that is we have a brand-new drought contingency plan that came through council a couple months ago. And the key trigger for our drought contingency plan is access to water at the river. And since it hasn't rained and we haven't had significant rain in the area for a couple months, the river flow has pretty much stopped. Our cutoff point of being able to pump water out of the river is 4 cubic feet per second. And it's just a trickle over the dam right now. And that is the first step in the drought contingency is mild conditions where the river level is just approaching that level. And this time when it quit raining, we've had access to it up until about a month ago, and river basically stopped. So we're past the point of step 1, going into stage 2. We are below the 4 cubic feet per second now. Plus we have one of our raw water pumps out, so we'd really like to save the pump that we've got until we've actually have river flow. So, and the main thing for that is the call for drought restrictions is so that we can maintain access to the reservoir water or surface water. We have no issues now with our wells. We still have plenty of water in the reservoir itself, but we can't add to it anymore.
We remind what stage 2?
Stage 2 is, the goal is to reduce water usage by 10%.
So what we'd like to do, council, is to probably do odd and even days on watering. I mean, you can still water, but we tried the voluntary and it didn't really work. So these would be more mandatory restrictions. That's what these would be.
As we said right now, we've still got a month's worth of water to use out of the lake, possibly even 2. If we can implement restrictions and everybody follow, we'll have 2 months of supply out of the lake. We do blend the lake water with the well water, so that's the reason we have that access.
How are we going to communicate this?
We've went into restrictions previously, it's probably been 4 or 5 years ago,
Okay.
that we did Facebook posts. And also, since we are a wholesale supplier to Meridian, we also have to communicate with them. They basically have to follow the same restrictions we do.
We can put it on water bills as well.
Okay.
Talk to Chris, see if we can do reverse 911 or something. Maybe we could do reverse 911s. At least get the message out there.
And also with the stage 2, to get back out of the water restrictions, we basically have to maintain access to the river water for 14 days consecutively. So it's gonna take considerable rain to come back out of it. And then just to let you know, stage 3 would be that when we get to the point of having limited water in the lake or not being able to use the water in the lake or a mechanical issue elsewhere,
So the possibility of that would be the end of September, mid-October,
possibly.
if we don't get substantial rain.
Mhm.
Okay. What is enforcement for this?
It's gonna be based on what restrictions are put in place. I mean, last time we did it, we did odd and even or 3-day-a-week watering. And if, I'm not sure what the penalty is, but I mean, it can be enforced by
A ticket?
code, yeah.
Okay. Do y'all have any other questions about this?
No.
Well, I'd entertain a motion.
So does going into stage 2 put into place the odds and evens, or does that like a separate plan we need to come up with, or?
I think it's already.
It's actually, up to city administration to
Handle that.
come up with a plan.
Yeah, I think what we do is just go odd and even, and we'll get that out to the citizenry. And then how we, because people tend to water at night, and we'll have to monitor water usage at night, because there's a lot of people that water from the time it gets dark to the time it gets hot. So we'll have to get the girls up front to monitor and see who's watering. And we'll have to either give people phone calls, or eventually, if they don't stop, give them a ticket. Then that'll be code enforcement, they'll take care of that.
And we do have a graphic that was on Facebook last time that could be updated.
And
This effective immediately?
that would be my question.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll be effective starting tomorrow.
If we go into stage 2 water restrictions.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. H on the agenda, discussion and possible action approving,
G.
I marked G off. Oh, I shouldn't have yet. Discussion and possible action in regards to approving sewer taps and water taps increase from $1,500 to $3,000 apiece.
I'll let Craig talk again. We brought this up, I brought it up to the mayor several times, and we've discussed it. So Craig's got some statistics from some other cities, so I'll let him discuss all of this.
Basically, at $1,500 per tap, we don't meet our cost on as far as price of the meter, price of the hardware to install the tap, piping, labor. It's wear and tear on our vehicles or our equipment whenever we do these, and plus the repair of the road that we have to cut into. 3,000 would come closer to covering what the actual cost is. Basically the repair of the road and the price of the meter is the bulk of the cost.
I think Whitney, don't they, or what is Valley Mills?
I looked at Valley Mills, and their current tap fees for water and wastewater are $6,000 apiece. Ours, like 5 years ago, I think was $500 or $600, and that wasn't even close to getting there.
Yeah, meter alone's $1,000,
Yeah.
so we're just not, we're not even touching it, so. We're just asking for an increase in that, which wouldn't affect the taxpayers, but would affect if someone's putting in a new home or something like that, but that would be on the builder itself.
Some of your rural water systems, it's $10,000 to get access to their water. I think down around the Austin area, which we're not Austin, it's $15,000 to $20,000 for a water access.
Do y'all have any other questions?
Kind of speaks for itself. Like, shouldn't be
We need to at least
losing money.
Costs.
Correct.
If no questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I move we approve sewer tap and water tap increase from $1,500 to $3,000.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right, next is H, discussion and possible action approving a 5% increase in the water bills.
Craig, come on, sit down.
I'll just stand up here for a while. What we're asking for is a 5% increase in water bills. We did sewer rates last year. This year, we'd like to look at water. It's been 4 or 5 years since we did a rate increase. And just due to the increase in cost of materials and operating and maintaining the wells and the wastewater and the surface water plant.
The increase will probably to the residential bills, roughly $3 per month is what that 5% would account for.
Yeah, that's on the base rate, would be an
rate.
increase of right at $3.
I know we don't like to have increases, but we hadn't had an increase since 2022 on our water, and we've had our expenses go up fairly exponentially on chemicals and manpower. We now have 2 Class B operators instead of 1 Class B operator, which has helped us out tremendously.
Yeah, everything that we use, prices are going up. I mean, in between brass fittings and plastic pipe and diesel.
And with this, I know it seems, as we looked at all of this, I even asked David, I said, wow, all this at once. Well, it's budget time. So that's why we're having to do this now, so we can figure revenue for the budget to balance or what we have to cut or add. So do y'all have any questions for?
I don't like it.
That's not a question.
I understand what you're saying, but I don't like it. But again, we can't.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're a business like anybody else. We have the expenses that everybody else has to go through, the higher diesel costs, like Craig said, the higher pipes, fittings, stuff like that. So we can't keep absorbing that cost and then come to y'all in, say, 2 years and ask for a 15% increase. So we'd rather be more exponent, just come to you every other year, and that way it's just not a hard hit, so.
Also would like us to, on the upkeep, not just with our water bill, but keeping our equipment updated so we're not in the place that we've been this past year where we haven't done anything for a very long time. And
In purchasing equipment?
well, just, I'm saying we have to keep up with our costs and not just never have any increases or,
Forget about it for 10 years or longer?
well, it just, then we're
paying for everything.
then we're having to do everything at once, and yeah,
Exactly.
I don't want that for, I will not be on the council, then I don't think so, the future. Yeah. I'm just wanted it written in the minutes that I didn't like it.
Would anybody else like their name on that one?
I'll move to approve a 5% increase in the water bills.
I have a motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next is I, discussion and possible action in regards to approving an increase in digital meter reads from $1 to $2.
I hate to have ask Craig to come up one more time.
Craig, what?
But what this is, council, is basically we charge everybody $1 a month, and it's, their meters last, how long do they last, Craig? 10 years, 15 years?
The batteries and electronics basically last 15 years, 15 to 20 years, and the original electronic meters that we put in, I believe, are about 20 years old. And this would go towards replacing batteries, electronics, and possible those meters the meters themselves that need to be replaced.
When that $1 was implemented, they were $500, now they're $1,000, so, for a meter. So
I believe that was the rate that was set whenever the meters were installed 20 years ago.
Yeah, there's never been.
It's either 20, I think it's around 2000 that the original meters were installed.
So that's just to help with the expense and the cost of replacing that.
Correct.
So this is $24, this would be $24 a year for 15 years.
Basically,
Still.
the electronics and the batteries in those meters are gonna be about $350 to $400 per meter.
It's not like a AAA.
Yeah.
No.
All right, this might be it. Any other questions? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the increase in digital meter reads from $1 to $2.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. J, discussion and possible action in regards to approving Waste Connections' proposal of a 5% increase in trash services to begin October 1st, 2026. This service will continue with the same service, including bulk trash pickup.
I need to clarify one thing before Jimmy speaks. They're asking for a 4% increase. We're asking for a 1% administrative fee, since we administer take the phone calls, the girls up front.
Run the bulk.
Yeah, we'll run the bulk, talk to Jimmy, call Waste Connections. and
I'm no
get them
charge, so
taken.
you, yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. So we're just asking also, and that will be strictly up to council, we're just asking for an additional 1% in administrative cost.
Which would be about,
It-
water bill?
Yeah, you're looking at price 75 cents.
Yeah, so now I got a lot of heat looking at it with all these increases, so thank you. But, yeah, the increase, so this takes place, this time last year, we implemented going from twice a week to once a week. So we lowered everyone's rate to under $20. I think it was $19.87 per home. So far, as I understand it, as we all agreed a couple months ago, that the service has been great. Transition's been some bumpy roads as we expected, but for the most part, the service has been spot on. So this time around, we're asking for a 4% increase, which is 79 cents per home. Same service, same bulk service, everything stays the same. Last PI that we had within the city was in 2024, and that was, approximately a little bit over 3%. And that's when it was at twice a week. So we're, asking the city to consider it. The new service, new contract would start October 1, September 30th would be the end of this current contract, which is a one-year contract that we did a trial basis on last year. So we're just asking to continue on and move forward with the 4% increase.
do y'all have any questions for Jamie?
Do we have any numbers on, like, how many, average weekly that bulk was used? Do we have anything like that?
I don't know if we have any numbers, Councilman, but I
We
think
have
we
a
can
spreadsheet.
get some.
Like average.
Yeah.
It's about, I would say 20 to 25 stops.
Per week?
Say a week.
Per week?
Yeah.
It's been well
And probably
received.
more than that, honestly. I saw on the low end.
And I want to commend Waste Connections too. They check in with the girls every day. They come in and ask if we've missed anything or if they got any bulk to pick up. I just want to, they're very efficient.
And that'll continue. George has done an outstanding job, very communicative. Alan, our commercial driver as well. So they're both one of our top people. So we're very proud of them. So.
Alan called to sing one of our girls' happy birthday yesterday.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought that up. Because he is a very good, great singer. I mean, if you ever need a karaoke buddy, we will make sure he's there. He is outstanding. He loves to sing. We have cameras in our trucks that we can monitor our drivers for safe behaviors, or if we have an incident, then we can use those type of videos. And so one time it popped up with Alan singing, and it was really good. It was American Idol, Waco style for sure. So no, he's a very good singer.
Y'all are very professional. We appreciate that.
Yep.
Any questions? I'll entertain a motion.
If we could get a motion, if y'all decide to divide that up with 4% and then 1% administration.
I just feel like I'm the trash, the person that has all the questions about, but I mean, this is what you're proposing. I'm like, is it negotiable? What's like, where are we at there?
It's pretty hard to negotiate just because of the times we are here now. Especially going from 2024 to now, a lot has changed and really in the last year as far as our costs. And our costs have gone up more than the 4% that we're passing on. Fortunately, we've been able to, streamline our operations with labor and the trucks, truck variables and those type of things that we're able to counteract part of the cost that we're encountering with fuel, oils, tires, labor, everything else. The efficiency that we have throughout the day with George and Alan, that we're able to be efficient, that's, unfortunately, it's really hard to negotiate that at this point.
I kind of want to negotiate all these 5%.
But no, yeah.
It's just,
Appreciate you asking. yeah.
you know, we all pay these bills, we all live here, so.
Yeah, totally understand.
David has asked in the motion if it could be separated as for or approving or not, the 4% for Waste Connection and the 1% for in-house costs. In-house costs?
Correct, administration.
Administration.
All right, I'll make a motion that we approve Waste Connections' proposal of 4% with an additional 1% for administration and trash services.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right, L is,
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I keep marking things off before it's time. K is discussion and possible action in regards to approving the mid-year adjustments. So, y'all have in your packet this, I believe. So I'm just gonna ask Cassie just to walk a little bit of it through. It's fairly self-explanatory, but it is something that David, Cassie, Kat, and I sat down for several hours and went over for the adjustments of how we can do this within.
We stay
Our
within
budget.
everyone's budget.
We stay within the
So Public Works is in Public Works, Police Department's in Police Department, the offices, it just all stayed that way. I put in the green what we actually transferred, and in the black, or in red, I would put negative whatever dollar amount. That's what we took out of that line item that we originally budgeted for. It just brought us back even with everything. No one, every department looks good, as far as spending has gone. But that's about it. The ones in the red, we talked about some overtime, moving that around, and longevity and adjusting longevity pay, because we didn't budget enough. I can't, anything payroll related, I can't adjust, so.
It just
that's set in
shows.
stone. We'll just be in the red on longevity on a few of them, so. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty good on all of it.
She's done a great job. Do y'all have any questions?
Just, I just have my work behind it too, I mean, just for document, but.
And it just shows where it was decided to move it from. Each department head has done really well in, staying within their budgets as much as possible. Some things we did not expect was insurance, because when we budgeted for insurance last year, we didn't expect the increase, and utilities. And those are things that are very variable, but as making the budget, we did a good job,
And within those line items, previously, we did not have equipment rental per department. That might be the copiers across the street, our copiers in City Hall, and then the library. It was all in one. We're trying to narrow down what each department truly costs to maintain every year. So again, those numbers look a little wonky, but this upcoming budget year, it's gonna look really good, just so we'll know across the
clean.
board, we'll be really clean, exactly.
Do y'all have any questions for Cassie on this? If not, I can just entertain a motion to approve these adjustments so we can get them done.
I make a motion to approve the mid-year adjustments.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. L on the agenda is discussion and possible action regarding resolution number 260623-0, denying or accepting the Bosque Central Appraisal District's 2027 proposed budget. I went ahead and just printed for y'all the budget here, the levies, on back. It has, I just pulled out of the book we had, just the guts of the budget. So, I'm looking for any discussion.
This is the same one that was sent out a few months back?
Yes.
Same thing?
Same thing, Mr. Har and I talked, he called me this week. A concern that we had brought up was having the health insurance rolled in on the family insurance. And that was a benefit that was more or less a salary type benefit. So that will be eliminated. And I'm not sure if it will be rolled into his salary or it's just been eliminated. If you'd like to speak to that, Steve.
Because I don't have approval for that yet. I've had discussions with the person that affects the most.
Okay.
Who agrees with it, and I believe the board will do that. So I'm just telling you that the budget we gave you is less than last year, and I expect it by the time it's final, which is in September, to be even less than it is now. So I just haven't had that meeting yet, but it's the only thing I know that affects the numbers that you previously seen.
And also something that was the 3-year contract and that should have never even been put in the booklet.
Yeah, if you saw that in the salary survey, that's something the salary survey people got excited about, and it didn't last 5 minutes in the board meeting. We're not doing that. We're not going that direction. We're just making, in effect, a mark-to-market adjustment for the people based on all the long story I told you about what we did and why we're doing it, trying to keep them just like everybody's trying to keep their people. But the idea of trying to match salaries within an hour and a half a year would double our salaries, and we just can't solve that, and neither can you, so.
So in answer to your question, yes, it's the same budget. So ideally, until they meet and decide on a final one, this budget is the proposed budget that you would either approve or not.
When will we all meet again?
September the 9th.
So you're still planning on making adjustments?
I'm planning on making the one adjustment we discussed. That's the only one I know about. Okay?
Okay.
We had, as I told Damaris, you're really not supposed to vote on my proposed budget, because it's not the budget. You know, the budget is in September. We'll vote on that on the 9th. You'll get the lock, stock, that's it, this is it for sure. No question asked, this is the real thing. You get 30 days after that to take that action.
So we're not voting on this, this is the
Well,
update?
maybe, I don't know. I'm not running the meeting, I'm just passing along
The commissioner voted the other day.
where we are in the process.
Everybody else is voting.
I'll make a motion, we table it until we see the actual budget.
Yes.
Okay,
Second.
all right, I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. So last on the agenda is adjournment.
The motion was to table it?
To table it. There was a point in time to speak at the very beginning.
Yeah, but nobody said nothing. This is the first time I've been to a city council meeting. I was told to come here, and I would like to say something, and hope to get an eye on it.
Okay.
All right? Can I come up?
Well, you can speak, you have 3 minutes, and
It'll take less than that.
and we're not able.
My deal is, can I come up to the mic?
Just let her explain to you.
You have 3 minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
And we are not able to have any discussion with you. We'll just go back and say this is our public comment period, which we have at the beginning of the
Okay.
meeting.
Understand.
And we can listen
Okay,
and take that into respect.
okay, thank you.
Yes.
I knew there was a code changed years ago because of COVID about in the city limits having chickens. Well, I'd like to see that code go back in the city limits. You can't have chickens. Because if anybody has neighbors that have chickens, they know what I'm talking about. The smell is horrible. And I just want to say that I know this code got changed because of COVID, but we live in the city. And chickens next door on both sides of you, I'm telling you, if you're in the middle, I would beg you come to my house and smell what I gotta smell. And that's all I gotta say.
Okay, if I could ask you after we adjourn, if you could give our city secretary your name and number and address. That's
I'd love
usually,
to.
we fill it out. And we've heard and we appreciate it, and I'm sorry I wasn't better at.
Well, it's
presenting
okay, I was
public
just told to
comments.
come here to speak out, but nobody, there's no chicken people here, so I didn't know what to do.
That's fine,
I
that's
knew
fine.
mine was after everything else, I was going, you're gonna get up and talk about chicken food? Excuse me? So anyway,
Well, thank you very much.
okay, thank you for letting me speak.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Okay, all right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All right, meeting adjourned.